welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Alex. I am now a third-year law student in Texas, and I figured that for today's video I would show you guys me reacting to my first year of law school videos, which I filmed 2 years ago now, as I was barely going into law school and not knowing anything about law school. So just kind of watching those videos with you guys, reflecting on them and what my thoughts are now compared to then. Obviously, I've learned a lot and I've experienced a lot by this point, so I just thought it would be a fun comparison to see how I am now as compared to back then. So with that being said, I'm going to go through a few of my videos from my first year of law school, but I'm just going to skim through them. I'm obviously not going to play the whole video, and I will also link them down below if you guys want to watch the actual video. They are still up on my YouTube channel, so you guys can still go check those out and see how I've kind of transitioned throughout these years. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first video we're going to start off with is my first day of law school, and it's titled First Day of Law School 1L Vlog. And that vlog contains my orientation day as well as the very first day of class. So let's get started with that one. I'm getting ready. It's about like 7:30ish, I think. It's like 7:20. Our orientation starts at 8:30. Obviously, I still have that shirt and I still love to wear it. I wore it on my last vlog, but I clearly still have that shirt and I love to wear it. Also, my hair was darker back then. I dyed it recently, like within the past year. So yes, my hair, that's my natural hair color. It's really dark. It's there, so I just need to get ready and go. I don't really need to eat before I go, and it's an all-day thing. So I'll be there all day. So right now I already did my makeup, I did my hair. I'm getting ready to... Also, can we talk about how shaky and just horrible quality this video is? I wasn't used to vlogging back then, so I didn't know anything about tripods or stabilizing or anything like that. So just horrible quality, and I am so sorry. I'm sure my videos still are not the best quality, but I think they have definitely improved as compared to this. A little rundown of what happened these past 2 weeks. So prior to orientation, we had a 2-week class where they taught us how to brief cases and just read cases and kind of how to navigate law school in general. So that's what I'm talking about in this clip right here. For the past week and a half, it counted for a grade. We had homework, we had tests. So we learned a little bit about tort law. They kind of introduced us to the law like very briefly, but obviously we didn't go into like heavy cases or like cold calling or anything like that, but they did touch up on it a little bit. It's technically a class. It was like an introductory class, so it pretty much was just preparing us for the classes that are coming. So I'm going to fast forward to this part where I'm showing you some of the books that I used back then. Obviously this was my very first legal writing class, so I had to use these books. And then there's my civil procedure book. I do have another book technically, but I'm still waiting on it. So these are the 4 books I have so far. Okay, I'm going to move on to a different video because that was a really chatty video, and it was just pretty much explaining what orientation was and just me going to school and stuff like that. So I'm moving on to a different vlog. This one is from November 4th, 2019, and I have it titled as A Day in My Life Law School Vlog. So obviously I was already a few months into law school at this point, but still my first year of law school. So let's get started with that one. First, I just kind of throw on whatever because it's pretty cold today. So I am wearing my denim jacket with this black and white striped shirt, and then I'm just wearing some black pants and my Converse. Super casual fit, and true story, I used to dress up like really nice the first few days, and I'm talking about like nice like trouser pants, a nice blouse. And then I realized that you don't really need to dress up for law school. Obviously you want to look presentable. You don't want to show up in like torn jeans or like shirts with profanity or anything like that, but you don't have to go like super dressed up like you're going to court or like you're even going to work or anything like that. Obviously if you want to, you can, and you can dress however you feel most comfortable, but you by no means have to dress up like super crazy. And that's something I always wondered before going into law school. I was like, what do I wear? Like, do I have to dress up super nice? Is it okay if I wear jeans? I never had an idea of how to dress, and I kind of just learned as I went. But yeah, this was a super casual outfit, which is totally fine. Obviously it depends on your law school, your professors, I don't know. but you don't want to go looking like you just rolled out of bed, but you don't also need to dress up like you're going to court. So I'm super like casual today. I normally definitely try to dress it up a little bit more. I'm kind of still debating what I want to wear. But as of right now, this is the outfit. It is like 7:20, so I need to be leaving soon. So this may or may not be the final outfit. I will keep you updated. HEB, they sell. I did end up changing, by the way. There, when I do Central Market, they also have them, but this is a Houston one, and this is my favorite. So I usually have my backpack ready the night before. Just gotta fill up my one ball. Oh my gosh, you guys, contracts. That was possibly one of my worst classes in law school. So every time I see that book, I just get nightmares. This is the book I'm taking, and that's all my other books are in there, as well as my laptop. And I'm currently making my coffee. Oh, legal writing and contracts. Working on this memo. So if you're a 1L, or if you're about to be a 1L, you should be working on a memo, or you will work on a memo. You will. And let me just tell you, you need to prepare for this, because this is probably one of the hardest things I've done. Okay, that's actually really funny, because at the moment, I thought that that was literally the hardest thing ever. I think it was because I had to research and write all at once. Well, I didn't really need to research, but I needed to read the law that was given to me for my closed memo. And I had never really read that much case law all at once. And I had never written something of that sort. So at that time, I literally thought that was the hardest thing ever. And now I can write a memo like in a day. So it's quite funny because it's just something that you learn as you go, and with practice just comes naturally to you. But when you first start doing it, it's hard. So if you're a 1L, or if you're about to be a 1L and you're really struggling with your closed memo, it's okay. Everyone does, to be honest. And it is hard at the time, because for most students, that's the first time you're doing anything like that. So I'm used to writing. My major was writing intensive. But let me tell you, this writing memo is not a joke. It's completely different than what you learn in your undergrad. It really is. It's just a whole different style of writing, different style of learning. So that's what I'm working with in the memo. My blue book, and this book called A Lawyer Writes. So it's pretty good. This one just helps you break down each part of the memo. So that binder that you guys see there is the case law that was given to us for our closed memo. We didn't really need to do outside research, just pretty much use those. And so that, like that binder right there is all the cases that were given to us. Here I have my blue book tabbed. When you come to law school and you write a legal memorandum, you will cite every sentence pretty much. So you gotta make sure you are. That is true also for motions. You have to cite all your cases, all your case law, your statutes, your codes, all of that stuff needs to be cited. So the blue book will go with you for the rest of your life as long as you're a lawyer. Citing it correctly, and you are citing it to the correct jurisdiction. So these are probably two books that you will need if you're in Texas. This one for sure you will need wherever you are. You guys, that memo kept me up late, very late at night, my first semester of law school, but I ended up doing really well, and as of right now, legal writing has still been my strongest suit. So yeah, that's pretty much how it went for me my first year of law school. As far as writing, I dreaded it, but I'm surprisingly good at it. So yeah, that was me working on my memo late at night, and it did keep me up really late. Okay, now the last one I'm going to show you is the Day of a Law Student 1L vlog, and this was November 2019. It's almost close to Thanksgiving, so this was getting closer towards the end of the semester and more close to finals. So here is this one. But before I left, I wanted to show you my outfit. I'm just wearing this striped shirt with some black pants. What's with me and stripes? And then my statement slip-ons. And then I'm just gonna wear a denim jacket on top. Today's not that cold, it's gonna be about 78, so it's definitely not as cold as the previous days. Right now I'm just gonna make some coffee and then get going. Okay, that's me at the library studying for contracts. Again, a class that haunts me till this day. But yes, I was studying for contracts at the library that day. Barbary. I still use Barbary to this day. Super helpful. If you're struggling with classes, I definitely recommend Barbary because it teaches you what you need to know, and it's also from a different approach other than your professors. So I've been finding it really helpful when I find that my professor's way of teaching is just not really connecting with me. So that's really nice to have another approach from another professor. So here's my planner from that fall. I had contracts, legal writing, towards civil procedure, and I think I also had, I had another class. I think it was called no, I don't remember what it's called. Honestly, it was like a fundamentals class, which again, kind of guided us how to read a case, brief, and do all that stuff. And that was only an 8-week course, so it only lasted half of the semester. So at this point, I did not have that class anymore, which is why it's probably not on my planner here. We did have like a mentoring class where we met with attorneys here in the Dallas area, and they would mentor us and tell us about their experience. So I did have that, and that's why you see attorneys will be at school, because we had those attorneys come in. This week, it does not look too crazy, nothing like last weekend, so it does not look too bad. I do have my planners still look like that to this day. My planners are super color coded, and they look pretty hectic still, so not a lot has changed in that regard. So I usually set up on this little coffee table that I have here, and then the book on my lap, or if not, I'll do it on my table or on my bed. I know that's not the best idea, but I work with what I've got, so yeah. Definitely don't recommend working from your bed. I did that a lot my first year because I did not have a desk, and I just did not have a lot of furniture in here, to be honest, which is why I was working off my coffee table on the floor and on my bed. But I do not recommend working on the bed. If you have to work like on your bed, I recommend getting a lap desk, which you can put like on your bed and it'll balance your computer. That way you can kind of sit up and still work, but you're still laying in bed. But I definitely don't recommend doing any of that. I'm telling you, because I really struggled that first year just finding an environment and a setting where I could really lay out all my books, my computer, my notes, and all that stuff. So as you guys can see here, my books are literally everywhere. Yeah, I usually just sit here and brief. I no longer brief on the full paper. I brief like on my book. If you want me to do a video talking about that, like I said, leave a comment down below. I still brief on my books. I stopped briefing like on a separate sheet. If you guys still need to brief on a separate sheet of paper, then by all means do it. You have to do what works best for you. I just found that doing that extra step was taking way too much time, and briefing on the book was kind of helpful because as I glanced through the book at a later time, like when I'm studying for finals, my notes were just immediately right there. So do whatever works for you, but that's just what started working for me after a few months. Obviously, some people it may take longer before you transition to briefing on your book, but again, just do whatever works for you and whatever you need to stay up to date on your cases. But if not, that's cool too. And here's an example of what I mean by briefing on my book. I don't actually fill out a brief, I just write on the margins of my book. But anyway, this is what I'm doing right now. Just going to be reading, starting a new chapter. Okay, so that is pretty much it. As you guys can see, not a lot has changed. I still read and brief on my books. I still highlight my books like crazy. I still highlight my planner like crazy. Some people have moved away from highlighting their books as much. That's just something that has stuck with me and has been super helpful, especially in cold calls. And I can't recommend it enough, but if you're just not one of those persons that needs to highlight their books, then don't do it. Or if you move away from doing that, then that's fine too. Again, all of law school learning is just tailored to what works best for you. And if someone else is doing something else, or like if I'm doing something and it's just not working out for you, then you need to try different things. But other than that, not a lot of things have changed. Obviously, halfway through my spring semester of my first year of law school, we transitioned to online because of the situation with the world. As of last year, my whole second year of law school was all online as well, but now as I'm going to my third year, I will be going back in person. So a lot of these vlogs will be back of me on campus and showing you what my days look like with me having to go to campus, coming home, and kind of how I redo my schedule and transition back to in person and having to block time off to get to school, to come back, to do all those things. So I hope you guys stick around so you guys can see some of those vlogs. Aside from just the techniques that I use and what I do to brief and read and study for law school, like I said, not a lot of that stuff has changed, but obviously I've learned so much more about the law, about what goes into being a lawyer, into networking. I've had various internships at this point. I'm currently finishing up a clinic. So I've been doing a lot of outside work that has taught me a lot of things outside of being in the classroom. I cannot recommend networking and getting outside of school experience enough, because that is a lot of what's going to go into your day-to-day life as a lawyer. So obviously knowing the law is important, but also knowing how to file, knowing how to amend a petition and do all those things are going to be more so of what you're doing on your day-to-day life. Or if you're a transactional lawyer, looking at contracts and all that stuff is going to be more of what you're doing on an everyday basis. So of course you want to know how to do those things, and some of those things are not taught in the classroom as you're learning towards or whatever. So with that being said, I do recommend that you guys go outside, network, meet people, get internships, because they are very important. I have learned a lot through them, and I am now a lot more aware of things that I wasn't my first year. Also, this experience of being an intern has also helped me realize a lot of the things that I did not know about my first year of law school. Like, I learned about them, but I never really got to see them. Like, I never really got to see a 12B6 motion or anything like that. And now that I've been experiencing real law with real clients and real people, you get to see them go through court in real life, and it's just super crazy and super interesting because you were just learning about it. So with that being said, that's a little bit of where I'm at now. I've learned so much, I've evolved so much, I've grown so much, but it hasn't been an easy road by no means. I've struggled. I felt really low. I felt really good about certain things. It hasn't been a walk in the park. It's been very tough, but it's been so worth it in my experience, and I'm really looking forward to being back in person. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking with me through these past 2 years. I know I started this channel right before I came into law school, and now we are here going into the very last year of law school, and I plan to bring you guys along with me as I study for the bar, and then once I take the bar and go into the legal profession. So I hope you guys stick around and see all of that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.